This video will show you how to create a more complex object out of addition and subtraction in Tinkercad. Okay, now that we've learned how to add shapes and subtract shapes, we're going to put the two things together and we're going to start building a castle. When you build a complex design in 3D, it's best to start by building the pieces and then putting the pieces together. So what I'm going to do is, instead of making my own towers with a cylinder and punching a hole in the middle, I'm going to come down here and pull out the tube. That's already got a hole punched in the middle. I'm going to make it bigger. We'll go with 38. And there we go. There's one tower for the castle. Now, in that tower, I'd like to put a hole that, Rapunzel could hang out of. So if I look through my shapes, I've got this round roof shape. I can bring it in and make it a bit taller and also make it maybe a bit narrower. And maybe that's too tall. There we go. Something like that. And I'm going to make it into a hole because I actually want it to put a window in. So now what I'm going to do is take that shape and put it a little bit in, not all the way in, and pull it up to where I want the window to be. And I'm just going to spin around and make sure it didn't go all the way through. No, it didn't. That looks pretty good. So now I've got this one selected already. I'll click Shift and select the other shape and go up to Align. I actually think it looks pretty good already, so I'm not going to worry about aligning it any more than that. And then Group. Okay. So there I have my tower with the window in. Now, I also want to put a roof on that tower. So I'm going to pull in my cone. And as I showed you before, I'm going to pull that shape up through the top. And let's just make sure it fits. Looks pretty good. So with the cone selected, or with the tower selected, with the roof selected, I'm going to now select the bottom as well. The whole thing is selected. Looks pretty good there. And I'm going to group it. Now I have a whole tower. Now that's one tower. Obviously for my castle, I'm going to want 4 towers. So with the whole thing selected, I'm going to go up here and I've got Duplicate and Repeat. So I now have a second one, a third one, and a fourth one. For now, I'm just going to move them a little bit out of the way. And the next thing I need for my castle, well, I need 4 walls, but I don't actually need to build 4. I can start by just building 1. So I'm going to bring this shape in. I want it to be fairly tall. So if I go back and check here, I want it to be probably up around that high. So I'll pull it up a bit higher. And I don't want the walls to be that thick. And probably longer. Maybe a little narrower. That's pretty good. Now, I know from looking at pictures of castles that there's got to be some way to get in. So I want to put some kind of an opening here. Again, I can probably use the round roof shape. Bring it in. Make it a bit narrower. And a bit taller. And then I want to make that into a hole. I'm going to bring it and put it partway through. Now, before I do that, I actually don't want there to be a hole in all of the walls. So maybe before I do that, I want to duplicate this wall. Technically, I should have 4 of them. So that's 2, 3, 4. I actually only want the hole or the entrance in the first one. So I'm going to line it up about where I think it's going to go. Hold my shift key down, select both shapes, and go up to a line. That's actually looking pretty good right there. I'll make sure it's gone all the way through. Yes, it has. Then I'm going to group. And there I have the first wall of my castle. So now I really have all 4 of the pieces I need for the walls and all 4 of my turrets or towers. So what I'm going to do with this one, oops. Just bring it forward. And I want it to be a little bit in the wall, like this. And then I'm going to bring my other one forward. Maybe I better, let's group these 2 first. Okay. I want to make sure they're aligned down the center, which they now are. And then I'm going to group them. Good. Now I'll bring my other one down. About there. Join it to this piece. Make sure it's centered, which it is now. And group them. All right, now I have the beginning of my castle. I need to add another wall. Now, clearly the wall should not be this way. So I can come down here and spin the wall. And I want it to be 90 degrees. There we go. We'll just, 90 degrees. There we go. And I'm going to bring it along and put it about where I think it should be. I've got this selected. I'm going to shift and select the whole thing and align it. It's looking pretty good. Yep, I like that. And then group it. All right, so now I can see I've got 2 towers and 2 walls, and using that same principle of pulling one piece in at a time, I would go ahead and join the rest of the pieces to create my finished castle. From there, if I wanted to add things like flags or more windows in here or a drawbridge out here, I could do all of those things. But this is the basic method you want to use when you want to build a complex shape out of simple shapes. Start by making the pieces and then slowly but surely join the pieces together.